okay, sort the lighting out and get on with it. No fucking about, because that's largely what this channel is supposed to be about from my perspective. It's been a while since I published anything on this channel, largely because I haven't been publishing very much for various reasons. But I just wanted to comment. I'd watched a video by Logicked, which I'll link you to, but it might be taken down because he says, and he's just recording it on his phone, and he could take it down at any time, and it's very off the cuff. And he calls it something, it's called something like discouraged or discouraging. Worth a watch. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes, and he's talking about his experience on YouTube recently. And I didn't know his circumstances actually, which was that he packed his job in a year and a bit ago, and for not just because of YouTube reasons, but he'd hoped to be able to invest more time on YouTube and to make that something of a career, and that's what he and his family rely upon. And it's really kind of gone sour. That in terms of his channel, I suppose you could say, he doesn't use the term, but it's almost like he's suffering a kind of heat death, right? That his channel isn't shrinking, but by not shrinking, what he does say is by not growing, it's effectively shrinking. That the YouTube's like the rest of the universe expanding, and he's staying the same size, which is the equivalent to it shrinking, I suppose. Couple that with the fact that, as he states, which is absolutely true, that unless you're gaining in subscribers, you're effectively losing subscribers, because, I mean, this is something that most of us are aware of who've been around for a while. The subscribers that you've had for more than 2 or 3 years, a good portion of them, maybe 50% of them, are dormant. You know, they're not either interested in those things on YouTube anymore that they subscribe to you for, or they're not even on YouTube very much anymore. You know, their passions have moved on, because that's what happens in people's lives. And not everybody sticks with the same things for longer periods of time. And so unless you're gaining a decent percentage of subscribers every year, your channel is effectively decaying, even if it doesn't look like it in terms of the numbers. And the same thing, in fact, with his Patreon. He's finding that his Patreon is actually decaying. It's smaller each month, which is, I'm in the same boat, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat. And he's sort of scratching his head as to why, especially when he thinks some of the material he's making now is some of the best material he's ever made. And I think with regard to the Patreon, I think there's more and more competition with that all the time. There's more and more people getting on board that, and that is divvying everything up. And also, of course, the longer things like that go on, the more professional people become. And you will get people, I don't just mean professional in terms of their output, I mean professional in terms of wringing every dollar out of as many people as they can. People who are very skilled, doesn't matter what the material is like, they're very good at monetizing what they do, getting people to give them their money, better than him at getting them to give them their money, not necessarily that their material is better than his material. And that's a bitter pill to swallow, I suppose, but that's just kind of the way it goes. And it's hard. Sometimes it's a tough thing for me to swallow when I see what some people make for what they actually do, and how crap it is. But at least I'm not relying on that. It's my second job. It's not my only source of income, so it's a bitter pill. It's easier for me to swallow. It must be a desperate pill to swallow if you're in the position that he's in, where he makes good material. He's got a quality channel actually. But he's seeing his revenue there reduced, and as he says, the adpocalypse hit him very hard. When he was hoping to see his channel do this, as he could invest more time into it. In terms of the actual channel itself and the growth, he gives some suggestions as what it could be, and one of them he suggests is that it's the algorithm, and I think that's the one. It's not that his material isn't as good. It's not that everybody has their homespun little folk logic reason as to, well, all you need to do is do more live streams, do more longer videos, do more shorter videos, you know, do a video of you shitting on the toilet, and then everybody's got something. This is all you need to do. The truth is, if you go out there and look at the channels that are successful, there is very little rhyme nor reason to it. At one time the mantra was make shorter videos and put your face on the video like this, and then somebody like Sargon of Akkad came along, didn't put his face on any of his videos, and made these long fucking, a bit like mine, 40-minute videos that just go on and on and on, really, but they were wildly successful. And then you'll have other people who do exactly the opposite and are successful. I sometimes used to liken it to YouTube to a little bit like football, association football, and for every Premier League footballer on huge amounts of money, there's a whole load of people getting something out of it but scraping a living. And for everybody who's scraping a living, there's 1,000 kids who would have loved to have been a professional footballer who never make the grade to any degree whatsoever. But in some ways I think YouTube is actually a little bit more like a pop musician, really, because there are some musicians, pop musician in a bigger sense, rock music and all that, popular music in a bigger sense. There are some you see and you think there is undoubted talent there and you can understand their success. And then there are others that are clearly they've just fucking fallen lucky, haven't they? They're just, they've fallen into a barrel of thumbs and come out sucking a tit. Whereas most people are doing the exact opposite to that. And good luck to them, but that can only be down to the algorithm and the way. I mean, I've mentioned this as an example before. I remember a time when just suddenly all my recommended seemed to be bombarded with these videos by this cosmic skeptic, and I'd never watched one of his fucking videos. And when I watched one of his videos, I was then bombarded with a load more. And at that time, the chap had about 20 or 30,000 subscribers, and what I noted was that I looked then on his channel, and he had like half a dozen or more videos that had like 150, 200,000 views, 20 or 30,000 subscribers, 150 to 200,000 views on videos. YouTube is giving him a fucking hefty blowjob there, right? And that is the power of just, I don't know, making that YouTube algorithm horny, whatever it is, because since then, I'm not knocking the guy. He's gone on, he's done interviews with well-known theists, he's done all sorts, he's expanded his range and his scope. At the time, his first videos were very, very bog-standard atheist fare. I couldn't see anything to distinguish them over a dozen channels that have 20 subs, 50 subs, 100 subs, 200 subs after making a shitload of videos. But for some reason, YouTube was just going to keep throwing his videos at you until you fucking gave in and hit the subscribe button. And that's what you need, right? You need to keep getting on those recommended lists and front pages of people's YouTube pages. And you seem to be at the mercy of YouTube. And I kind of feel like Logicked is somebody where YouTube is not keeping him in the manner to which he's become accustomed. If he divorced YouTube, he'd have a damn good case to be on a few more people's recommended lists, I think, because clearly he's a guy who does good material, but there have been periods where YouTube has promoted and pushed his material, and now he's down here wallowing with the rest of us where, as he says, the views he's getting is largely, it's within his own subscriber base all the time. It's not getting out of there. What you need is for your material to go outside of your subscriber base and then go outside again and outside again to the same people, because people are not normally subscribing on the first video they've seen of yours. It's when they've had 2 or 3 and then they've thought they're all pretty good, bang, I'll subscribe. And YouTube actually does that for you. It either sits there sucking your cock for you, and everything must seem wonderful, mustn't it? If you start a channel and it just goes like that, that must just seem, well, this is so easy, why hasn't everybody got 500,000 subs, 700,000 subs, right? It must just seem so fucking easy. But really, like I say, it's like pop music. There are some people who clearly have the talent, and there's others clearly it's just they've just been lucky, really. They've just hit something, hit the right note, and then the media train has just dragged them to success, and they're the lucky ones that have made it when 1,000 individuals who are similar haven't. And I genuinely feel sorry for him, and he's not the only one who's clearly suffering. There are lots and lots of big channels. I noticed the amazing atheist TJ Kirk, his channel, he got over 1 million subscribers about 2 years ago, I think. Now he's got 1,020,000, and it's gone down. It's gone down to that, and it may well go below 1 million. Right? What the fuck is going on there? Because it's not like something major's changed, but clearly his material is not being touted and pushed. the way that it once was. It's a difficult situation for people, particularly people who are doing it for a living. And yeah, it's the algorithm. I'm certain that it's the algorithm. And I think that once YouTube sees a channel as an older channel that's maybe not growing at the rate, that has something to do with it. I don't know that's the case, but I suspect that that's the case, that it likes to see growth at a certain rate at a certain point, and if you're having dead patches or whatever, I'm convinced that that's featured in, because the algorithm is not clearly just judging videos on that video alone. That's clearly not the case, and it's clearly not just judging it on tags and keywords, because like I say, you looked at Cosmic Skeptic stuff, there wasn't like a slew of amazing tags in there or anything really clever. There's clearly something related to the channel itself, and if you're on the wrong side of it, which most people are, you've shit it.